Okay, Mark Matthews is with us of Bank Julius, Baer and Company. Mark, great to have you with us here. Good morning. Thanks very much for your time. Just a quick word, Mark, on whether the ahead of the tariff deadline, how should we see this? Because now this is the firm one. There's no extension. The US side has said again, repeatedly. And he said, well, if for countries where we don't reach a deal, we're going to settle between 15 and 20%. I think all-inclusive. I mean, that's not 10% base plus 15 or 20. I think 15 or 20, all-inclusive. What's your sense, Mark?
My sense is that it's not material. The market's making a mountain out of a molehill. Exports to the US from India are 1% of India's GDP. If you include services, it's 5% of GDP. That's small. I mean, for Canada or Mexico, then this is a big concern because they're around 20 and 30% of their GDPs respectively. But clearly the market likes talking about it, and it's a big sentimental issue. And I think the more concerning thing, just eavesdropping on your conversation earlier, is the idea that President Trump is unhappy with what's going on in Ukraine. He wants a ceasefire. It's not happening. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. And so he's going to indirectly ratchet up sanctions on Russia through its intermediaries, of which India is a big one. And that threat of a 100% tariff on countries which do business with Russia is, I think, a more material concern.
Absolutely. So we have the next couple of tentative days, Mark, coming in. We need to see if we get a deal or not. And if that doesn't happen, does India's baseline tariff move up in the interim? And then this whole specter of the ceasefire window, a 2-week window that he's given. How should we interpret the potential implications? Because it's all up in the air that he's going to levy 100% tariffs on those who are trading with Russia. So what should one be prepared for, I mean, from an Indian perspective?
On the one hand, I think India is an extremely critical ally to the United States for many obvious reasons, not the least of which is its importance in Asia as China becomes the paramount competitor to the United States, both militarily and economically. So the Americans should want to keep India in their good graces. But on the other hand, there is this situation with Ukraine. And frankly, I've become very fatigued at trying to predict what Donald Trump's going to do. I don't know what he's going to do. I think he could very well impose sanctions on Russia that would boomerang on India, and that could take the market down. I don't want to deny it's a potential. But on the other hand, as I said, India is an important ally of America. And so I don't know which one he'll do. I suppose I would err on the side of him being nice to India for the reasons that I just stated.
Hi, Mark. Good to see you. When, the Indian markets have gone through a bit of a lull period and relative underperformance, but that sometimes gives you buying opportunities. Do you think, say, in the next 12 months from here on, as we discussed last time, the Indian markets could be higher, maybe a double-digit return from here? And also, since we're going through this sideways consolidation phase, what would you look to buy in India?
The sector that looks most interesting to me is the IT sector, because it's the sector that's performed worst this year. And normally it's not a good idea to catch a falling knife, but there are some valuations there which are just too cheap in my mind. And I don't know why the street didn't like the most recent results. I really didn't think they were bad. And I thought the commentary from management going forward was more positive than I'd been expecting. So I think that is the opportunity. Banks have been, of course, the best sector so far this year. Now they're taking a breather, but they're still not expensive despite this great run, because they're clocking very good numbers. And so those would be two, and maybe the consumption sector, just because 1 lakh crore of tax breaks will definitely help the consumer as well as the 100 basis points of cuts we've had from the RBI over the last few months. So those are the three that we like.
Okay, interesting. So giving a thumbs up to Indian IT. Not too many people are doing that at this point in time. That's an interesting call. Thank you, Mark, very much for joining in. Always good chatting with you. You have a great day, and we look forward to connecting again soon. Well, that's a view coming in on the global